this trading platform that you're creating will be biased towards people who are A, technologically smart, and B, where the demand is. And so in a way, like the old stamp equivalent of the first class stamp, you know, it's easy to get a letter around in London, and then why do we still pay for something that's actually not worth sending all the way up to Scotland? How do you see that working?
So that's a really, really interesting question. So first of all, we think the important thing is to set price signals. So the fact is, at the moment on a capacity mechanism, there is no locational pricing, which is insane. The fact is today, if you're a VPP and you bid into the flexibility market, nobody really knows where that asset came from or what power was produced. So I think setting locational pricing is really important. Right. Now, our argument would be we're setting locational pricing. It's a policy decision on how you adjust for that.
Yes.
And I think there's a very big question about this, which is in the energy transition 2.0, as technology becomes a bigger thing, who are the winners and losers of this? I'm on the Fuel Poverty Committee for Government, and this is something that we're very concerned about. So I'll give you an example of it. Whether you have more and more people having embedded generation, it will mean that less kilowatts flow through the transmission and distribution network. Yeah. The transmission and distribution network is still going to have to be funded, and therefore we are going to have to move to a more fixed-based connection charge. So think of your BT line. Everybody pays their £19 a month. We're going to have to move that way. How does that affect people who are low users? Is that fair? So as Ofgem look at RIIO-2 and they look at the charging base, it's likely we're going to move to a connection charge as a higher position, and then it's going to be how does that affect the fuel poor and people who have low bills? How does it affect it if it's the people who are rich that have electric vehicles or can put solar and battery on their homes?
Absolutely.
But people who don't then end up getting differential pricing because they're not storing their energy at that time. So our view is we're not seeking to solve those problems. What we're seeking to do is create a market which creates price signals which allows the market to help come in and solve some of them.
But you know as well as I do, the market will go where the money is. So unless you have government intervention in this new thing you're creating, how do you protect?
Totally. So our view is let's set the price signals. If there's a constraint there because in the southeast everybody's driving around in electric vehicles and we've got the storage and here's a constraint, we should set a price signal because the distribution network then should say either I need to upgrade or I need to enter into a battery contract with somebody or I can send price signals for other people to manage their energy. The first thing is let's get a price signal. The second thing is how do you socialise issues and what does the government have to do? And actually I think it's super important that both BEIS and Ofgem look at this energy transition and think about who are the winners and losers in the system.